I'm here with Jason Matthews, and my co-colleague just made a 12-hour strategy guide about his favorite board game, Twilight Struggle. This is the designer of that game. Thank you for coming, joining us on Legendary Tactics.
My pleasure.
So I'd like to do something with you here quietly. NATO's at the conference here somewhere gaming. He took 5 years to create a 12-hour strategy guide, and I would like, in 5 minutes, to create a 5-minute strategy guide with 5 tips that, for a new player to Twilight Struggle, could get us into the game and hit the ground running so I could beat NATO with his 12 hours with 5 simple tips. I don't know if there's anything simple about this game, but that's the challenge. So tell me, where would I start as a Twilight Struggle player? What do I need to do first and foremost?
So one thing you have to understand as a new Twilight Struggle player is that there is built-in asymmetry to the game. And the core of that asymmetry is that the Soviet Union is more powerful, it has better ops, better events from the early to mid-war, and the United States has all of its strength from the mid to late war.
Okay.
And so, as the Soviet player, you really have to step on the gas in those first several turns in order to make sure that you have enough victory point lead to survive when the momentum changes. For the United States, the job is the opposite. You have to play death by 1,000 cuts. Get your little point here and there, and try and hold on until your good cards come to the rescue.
Ooh,
so that's going to come 3 or 4 turns in.
No, I think the Chinese had a strategy in about 2016. They started using this. The Chinese players came in and they did that blitz early in the game. Go fast, go hard, score points. And I think some American players were caught off guard. So is that essentially what you're talking about, but only for the Soviets?
Only for the Soviets,
okay.
Yes. The American player, if you blow through your cards that way, you are definitely going to lose, or you will eventually lose.
Yes.
And for the Soviet players, the object of that strategy is not to last through the game. You're trying to get the auto victory sometime in turn 4 or 5, wherever you can pull it off.
So the first tip is all about momentum and when you need to emphasize the asymmetry of the game to your advantage. Awesome. Let's move on to tip number 2. And I guess actually one question I have for you is, where should I be focusing on the board? Is it where the other player isn't focusing? Is it, are there particular regions that are easier to score that I should lean to? This is the hack coming here.
I do think that is like a critical component about strategy. The easy pattern to fall into in Twilight Struggle is to be reactive. And to a certain extent, Twilight Struggle is like chess. If you can get your opponent to dance to your tune, you're winning. And if all they're doing is reacting, you are setting the agenda and the terms.
Right.
So the very difficult psychological thing that you have to do is say, I really want to play this one, influence point in anticipation of where I think their scoring card is going to be.
So get ahead of your opponent.
To get ahead of their opponent. But I would be much better off playing it for the future, like setting up so that when we're in scoring for, say, the Middle East, we've seen Asia, we've seen Europe, I will be better off taking that extra IP and throwing it into the Middle East so that when the Middle East scoring card is there, they're behind the curve and they're reacting to me.
Okay, so this one's very easy. You just need to be telepathetic, read your opponent's mind, and get there first.
Precisely.
Okay.
But it is, in that way, like it can be, if you can find a spare op or two to throw into Latin America or Central America or Africa so that when the mid-war shows up, you're ready and your opponent is behind the eyeball rather than you, that's a sweet spot to be in.
Fantastic. Okay, we better talk then about the cards themselves. Maybe we'll start with the Soviets. Are there certain cards I should be looking for, certain cards that, and every designer hates this question because I'm asking, is the game broken? Is there an OP card? I know the answer is always no, it's perfectly balanced, everything's wonderful. But if there were a card that I should maybe be keeping in the back of my mind, like this one is really good, what would you go for?
So for the Soviets, I love, and I think a lot of people love, decolonization, because it's just like an explosion on the board, and suddenly the U.S. player is like whack-a-mole all over the damn place. And so if you can get that card out early, it's just golden for the Soviet Union.
Let's go to the Americans then. What do we have on the other side that just feels great to play the event?
I like Voice of America, which is sad because the Trump administration just closed Voice of America, but it was an extraordinarily important tool in the Cold War, and it's a pretty useful tool in Twilight Struggle as well.
So we always save our best tip for last. So tell me, what's the overall strategy, or what's the grand finale? What do you need to do to win this game?
A lot of American players in particular will be frustrated by the fact that the Soviet Union is always the first player to initiate the action rounds, and as a result, they're able to host a coup right from the beginning, and take something away that's both by lowering DEFCON or grabbing an important country early on, like Iran. But the thing that American players need to be thinking about, especially in those early war turns, is how can I set up my last play to make that starting coup a very dangerous or painful decision.
Okay.
So where do I put influence on the last, with my last operations points, so that if the Russians decide they're going to coup first thing, they're going to miss out on this other problem that I've created for them. So it's a little trick of creating dilemma for the Soviets by using the last turn versus the first.
This is fantastic. So make sure you get a copy of Twilight Struggle if you don't have one. And if you want to help me, like the video, subscribe, share it. Let's make sure this video is more popular than NATO's 12-hour strategy guide video. And I just got to thank you for sharing all the secrets with us.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Now, in the meantime, get out there, get gaming, and
stay legendary.
That's it? Where's the rest of the video?